All right, everyone, here we are, end of the day, Functional Aging Summit 2021, day 2. It's Dr. Dan Ritchie, president of the Functional Aging Institute, your host here, hosting Jake Trione. And if you're not familiar with Jake and his studio down in South Houston, you're in for a treat here this afternoon. Jake has actually been a trainer for a number of years and actually has been in the Coast Guard for a whole lot longer, so we need to thank him for his service. Jake is a master trainer, a functional aging specialist, and a veteran. He's dedicated to serving others, and you're going to learn from his presentation today. He really is about people. He specializes in coaching older adults in his gym, Tri Fitness, which is technically in Clear Lake, Texas. South Houston, though, for the rest of us. So if you want to put that on the map. Jake, I'm going to turn it over to you. I will be here in the room if you need anything. And I'll try to keep everyone on mute, but if you need people to speak, just let me know. I can help them get unmuted. So Jake, thanks so much for your time, your passion in the industry, and please take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Dan. Thank you, Cody and Celia and everybody with FAI. Thank you for all the attendees. I mean, I know this is hard to find, to make time to learn and time to grow and continue to find those moments of opportunity for you. So I really just want to say thank you for giving me a moment. I definitely don't want to waste your time. It's a big thing that I try not to do. So my presentation today is on how to build profitable relationships within your community. You'll find out very quickly that I really love my community, and my business, Tri Fitness, is 100% based off being able to create relationships. No other thing I think has really gotten me this far. So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you first with a short video of what we do at Tri Fitness and kind of go from there.
Trying to lose weight for years and never could, and so I started here and have been coming consistently for over a year, and I've lost 40 pounds.
My legs are stronger. I was always afraid, kind of because I have arthritis, of falling, but now I've gotten kind of over that.
The workouts are well paced and we really enjoy it.
So again, thank you so much, FAI. Thank you again for all the summit attendees. My name is Jake Trione, and I'm a master fitness trainer, a functional aging specialist, truly dedicated to this industry. I'm a co-owner and co-founder of Tri Fitness Gym, another individual that I met at a local gym. We started together. I'm 17 years so far in the U.S. Coast Guard. I was active duty for 13 and a half, and I've been in 17 now, the last 4 in the reserves. And I'm definitely passionate about serving others and really trying to make sure I find ways to give back to my community. And I'm truly, just like I think you are, and I really want to hit on this before we start, we're all advocates for our aging population. Every single one of us is an advocate for every single member that comes through our doors every day. And I don't want you to forget that, because as we continue to grow, like we hear from Dr. Dan and so many of these other presenters, there's over 10,000 people a day in the US turning 65 and 70 right now, and they need help, they need support. Last I looked, we're somewhere between 23,000 geriatricians short in the United States. And that's pretty scary, right? That's something that I think we should take a little bit personal as functional aging specialists, as those who own our gyms and own our studios, to consistently see how to give back and how to actually speak up for our aging population in every possible way. So I like to start pretty much every presentation I do with a story. So I grew up in a 110-year-old business. My dad basically restarted a grocery store that my great-grandmother had started in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was called Ben Trione's Meat Market. That's my father's name. And so from an early age, about 5 or 6, I was working inside his store. And when I was young, one of the things we would do is we'd go in and I'd have to make all the biscuits. And he'd have me there like 5 in the morning, which as a fitness professional, we all know that we have a lot of people who are early birds when it comes to working out. So I guess it taught me early, even though I still do not like mornings. But I would go in, I'd make the biscuits, I'd go to sleep till about 9, and I'd wake up and one of the things I always saw when I wake up was all of the local business owners and all of the local working class people were there having their coffee, starting their day together as a community. And that's really one of the big things that I learned early on, is that we want to be together as human beings, and we want to spend time together as human beings. And if we can use that as a way to bring in more healthy habits, to bring in more of a positive life, and to help people to consistently make that progress with some exercise or whatever it is you're selling, to be honest, why not use it? And that's really what my presentation is about today. My first business was Jake's Produce. And basically, my dad one day, he had come by to my produce stand, and I was about 12 at this time. And I had hired 2 employees, and he had no idea. And so it was funny because he tells the story. They got real fired up and got kind of upset about it. But then as he was driving away, he was like, wow, that's pretty smart. I was out playing golf. At 12 years old, I'd made enough money to buy a set of Cleveland Bass golf clubs. And my dad always tells that story. So let's tell a little bit about my life and how I ended up here as a fitness professional and how I ended up in this industry. So I didn't really end up here in the industry itself alone until I was 33. And so basically, I started working at a local gym while I was on active duty around 2011 or so on the side, and was trying to give back and trying to find a way to connect with my community more, because as a member of the military, you always moved, and I never felt like I had a home. I had left home when I was 20 years old to serve my country, just dedicated again to trying to give back and find that level to give a little bit more. And so when I moved here to Clear Lake, I got a job really at a gym. I can walk out my back door now and throw a rock at it. It's kind of ironic. And I started there as a personal trainer. And honestly, within 2 years, I became the personal training manager while I was on active duty. And most of my clients were over the age of 50. And at that point, I really kind of realized my members and my clients may not be able to live if it wasn't for me being there working with them. And the Coast Guard, though, could replace me. And that was when I had to make a very hard decision about 2014. And I had 10 years service at that time, and I was literally 10 years away from full retirement, for any of you know about the military, and I had 3 years left on my commitment. So again, I really kind of had to soul search, and as a man of faith, I really prayed on it, and it came up, and God guided me in a lot of ways, and I made that decision to use my God-given talents and abilities to try to help the world. And I did it through exercise, because exercise has helped save my life in so many ways. And so really, that's whenever the journey started for us at Tri Fitness Gym. And I started really pushing. I went and spent time with Todd Durkin and Mike Boyle and Martin Rooney and all the guys out there who were doing their best, and Dan and Cody, and met all of these amazing professionals who were trying to lift others up and trying to find out how I could be a part of that. And so I started building my team that day back in 2014 and telling my story. And so I left active duty in 2017, and I ended up in a 240 square foot garage. Some other plans fell through, story for a different day. But I operated out of my garage for an entire year, and we were grossing between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. And it's an apartment garage, but I put in flooring, I put in a small rack, I had an elliptical in there, I had a punching bag, and we just went after it. And I was training 3 to 5 clients a day, some small groups, and just kind of pushing. And then at the end of 2018, we had this location where we're at now, 3,500 square feet. The people who owned it actually reached out to us and said, hey, you guys had kind of looked at us back in 2017, and they kind of told us no. One of the many no's that we got as we were looking for a location, just because we didn't have the financials or the background or the history, but they were selling this building. So they came back and said, hey, we want to get you in. We want to get you going. So at the end of 2018, me and my partner, John, decided that we were going to go ahead and go after it. And we signed a lease, I think, in September or October of 2018, and opened the doors on Tri Fitness Gym on January 5th of 2019. And really, Tri Fitness, I know a lot of people think it's triathlon, but it's mind, body, soul for us. Obviously, a little bit of a play on my name too. But to me, fitness, living life, being a positive individual is internal, external, and all the above working in harmony. So if we can't work with you to get all of those things kind of working together, we're not going to be able to help you to make those leaps and bounds in your life that we aim for. One of our mottos here at Tri Fitness Gym is, if you walk through our door, you will get better every day. And we promise that. I expect that from my coaches and everybody that works with me. We're going to be that positive attitude who's going to help them to get better that day. And so at this point, through COVID, which all of you have dealt with as well, and again, thank you for sticking with this industry. I know we've lost so many of us, but with 40+% of our country who's dealing with a lifestyle-related disease that could be totally altered through exercise and movement, thank you for sticking with it. And that's my dedication to this right now. That's my dedication to this presentation, is I want to give you something that's going to help you to keep going. I want to inspire you and fire you up and push you to make that next step, to keep changing lives, right? So we're at 877% growth over that 2.5-year span. And we're at 80.8% retention rate. That's pretty amazing. And for me, it's really just about giving my all to that individual that's in front of me. And I think that's really what I'm trying today to help you to do, is create those relationships that are going to help you to keep making that progress in your life. That's not just going to change the way that you interact with others, but the way that you interact with yourself every day. And that's really where it starts. It starts with you. You must lead yourself before you can lead anyone else. And I want you to take that home with you. I want you to write that down right now. You must be willing to lead yourself before you can lead others. And it's not easy. And a lot of days are going to try to drag you down and push you off pace, but you've got to find it. You've got to dig in. People need you as business owners, as fitness professionals. They're coming to you because they're not in a good place. And I know it's not easy, and I know it takes a lot of energy. And even when you don't feel good, you've got to be there for others. But find it, dig deep. And that's what I want you to take away from this, if nothing else. And we're going to get into this now. So what are our main focuses? For me today, I want to try to teach you how to build profitable relationships. And I'm not just talking about your pocket. I'm talking about your heart. I'm talking about your soul. I'm talking about going to work and being energized. I'm active, well, in the reserves, I'm active today. And I had one of my petty officers ask me before, he said, Chief, I'm a chief now, in E7, he goes, Chief, if you do what you love, is it really true that you never work a day in your life? And I said, definitely not. You're always working. You're always pushing. And a lot of days I'm fatigued and tired, but that doesn't mean it's my right to put that on other people. And that doesn't mean that I can't come in and try to bring that attitude and bring that energy that they deserve and that they're requesting and that they're paying for with their time and their money. And those are the things that you have to understand. You've got to find that level as a leader that you've got to push through. You chose this position, honor it, and consistently drive to push and make more progress as a leader. So learn to build those profitable relationships. Develop a game plan to become the go-to expert in your community. And again, Dr. Dan hit on this a little bit in his presentation, talking about the $10,000 month. And we'll kind of reiterate some of these things because I think they're extremely important. And I did learn from Dr. Dan and Cody, and they helped me to make a lot of progress. And I did the coaching call with Dr. Dan and do it. You know, he really helped us to move our business forward and make some steps that are quite simple to make progress. And I'm going to hit on some of those today as well. Learn to leverage your relationships to grow and maintain your client base and your income. So once you build those relationships and you get those individuals to come inside your facility, let's try to leverage those. Don't sleep on them, right? Don't take those people that are there every day for granted. Just because they've worked with you for 8 years doesn't mean you shouldn't be bringing that energy or finding new ways to inspire and make them laugh and make them smile. So that's really what we're going to try to think about today. So focus number 1, build profitable relationships within your business. So I'm gonna get a little bit of water here. If you have any questions, y'all, please throw those in the chat and we'll go ahead and answer them. So how do you do it at first? First off, you have to build and lead your team. It's kind of like I talked about earlier. As a leader, you must understand where you want to go and how you plan to get there if you're going to build a team that can help you do it. You must have the right practitioners to finish that course to make sure that you can build whatever it is you're trying to. And that takes a little bit of effort. That takes a little bit of time to go after that vision, develop it, and make sure that you're communicating it consistently. This is my team here. We did a fundraiser. Did a video on Facebook Live last night, kind of talking about, this is at Landolt Pavilion, which is a park across from where I live. And this team has pushed through and strived through and done what it takes to consistently make progress. And not every day is perfect, and we all need that boost, but they know where I'm trying to go. They know that owners of Tri Fitness want to be in 3 to 5 to 7 years. And we consistently reinforce that and help them to see it. And it's really your roadmap. So Simon Sinek's Find Your Why, right? That's a great book. It really kind of helps you to dig deeper into why you're doing what you do and how you can actually bring that more into a synergistic life like I talked about before. So go after that. I like a lot of books, so I'm going to throw those out there as we go. But that's one right there, Simon Sinek, and I believe it's Discovering Your Why or Finding Your Why. Again, you've got to share this vision. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean everybody understands what it is. Write it down. Put it somewhere where others can see it. Make sure that they're consistently following it and that they're getting their piece too. Where do they fit into your puzzle? How can they help you? Use their strengths. Figure out what they like. Figure out what they dislike. Figure out the things that inspire them, the things that make them excited, and use those things to help them to help your business, help your community, and help themselves grow and consistently see an opportunity within your vision, right? So again, it comes back to finding those teammates out, or finding out about those teammates, what you can do to help them. So dig into their lives, be a partner, be a teammate, right? That's one of the things I tell everybody that comes through the door, even our clients. I need you to be a teammate. If you're not communicating with me what you're dealing with, if you're not helping me to understand what you're facing every day, there's no way I'm going to help you to take that next step. I just can't do it without your help. Nobody is in a silo. I definitely don't want that inside my facility. Not my clients, not my employees, not myself. We're all together helping push us forward to make progress every single day. And as business owners, I want to do that for you as well. As we consistently go through this, you're going to see that I've put a lot of effort into trying to not just only inspire myself and my team, but also at you. And again, this industry needs you. Please hold on, find ways, push through, find out more opportunities, reach out if you have a question. And then lead by example. 100% probably my strongest asset. It really probably is. And I step up every single day, not just for others, but for myself. I want my tomorrow Jake to be proud of today, Jake, right? Tomorrow, Jake should be proud of today, Jake. And that's the thing I think about consistently is I want to make sure that I'm putting forth my effort. I'm putting my feet on the floor every day. I'm trying to take that next step. I'm doing things that are uncomfortable, that are needed to be done to help us to move forward. I'm having those hard conversations to try to help people to make that progress and consistently setting the example. I'm staying back and vacuuming whenever I see extra dirt on the ground. I'm going back and checking the restrooms in between sessions whenever I'm coaching. All of those little bitty things are important. You have got to focus on making sure you set that example. And I don't think this is said enough in society, and maybe not enough in gyms, but I think gyms are more of a loving environment. And I truly love every single person that I meet. And I say this kind of often, you have to know someone to have a hatred for them, but you don't need to know anything about someone to love them, right? So focus in on trying to find those ways to love them, to lift them up, and give them an opportunity to be their best self within your presence, within your business, to grow that relationship. That should be clients, that should be all of your teammates, that should be your spouse, everybody you interact with. So treat your team and your clients like family. And on the left-hand side here, this is one of our Nano Generians. She is an amazing human being. She, first time in her life, in her 90s, works out with us. And this was Mother's Day. And I gave every mother that walked through the door a rose that day. And, you know, I honestly it was a last minute type of thing. I hadn't planned it. I'm not the best at planning always, but I really do like kind of come up with things that I think are important. And I wanted to give her a flower and tell her Happy Mother's Day, because she may not have gotten that from someone else that day. And these are my partners here, Matt and John, on the bottom right-hand side of my screen. And just amazing human beings. And, you know, we've really just kind of grown together and learned what it takes to push forward and make progress. And I think treating your team and your clients like family is, to me, it's easy to do, because I've really based everything in my life on trying to help others to make a progress and help others continue to grow. But thinking about it like that, I think, changes the way you approach your sales, right? I think that's something that we look at as business owners with our sales, is that, oh man, I got to go out here and sell all this stuff. I don't know if I'm good at it. I'm not great. But guess what? You are doing those people an injustice. An injustice if you don't go out there and help them live healthier lives. If you don't go out there and pull them into your facility and educate them on what they're capable of. Show them how to squat without knee pain. Show them how to use their feet more efficiently. Show them how to improve their grip strength and improve their gait so they can walk without fear going to the park with their family. You have got to sell what you do to others. You have got to. You need to take care of your clients and take care of your teammates just like you would every single person that consistently needs that support from you. So you've got to consistently see that progress, and you've got to consistently take action to make something happen like that. All right, so this is something that we focus on at Tri Fitness Gym, and it's kind of our overall focus on what we do and how, in the long run, we want to build everything up: caring, connecting, and coaching. Until your clients know you care for them and you put forth dedicated effort to connect with them, you will not be able to successfully coach them. I'm going to say that again. Until your clients know you care for them and you put forth the dedicated effort to connect with them, you will not be able to successfully coach them. And this is something I'll talk about from a personal perspective. In the fitness industry, I've looked up to a lot of people. I've learned from a lot of people, and I've put a lot of effort into trying to be there by their side or show my gratitude or show my thankfulness for that. And it doesn't always come back, right? It doesn't always get reciprocated. And that feels a little bit hurtful. And I think our clients, if we're putting ourselves on this pedestal and we're walking around acting like we're going to be so helpful and we're going to put so much effort into trying to help them make that progress, but they don't feel like we truly care for them, then you're just kind of pushing your agenda. You're just kind of pushing those things onto them that they necessarily may not need or may not want from you. But when you sit down and have a conversation with them and you have an opportunity to talk to them, to learn more about what they really want, to learn more about what really drives them and excites them, now they know you care for them and they know that you've taken that time to connect with them and you can move forward. I'm going to show you one of my tools I have here that I use with my clients. And really, it's about giving yourself a checklist, right? Because for me, I get pumped up and excited and I forget to ask. But it's like, so we have a little personal commitment contract, right? And you can't read it, I know. This is our client check-in. I give them an entire binder. So we have an entire binder that talks about creating their weekly goals, setting some fundamental fitness goals and some fundamental movement goals. And it just gives us an opportunity to sit down and talk with each other and have a conversation. Ask them what they do for leisure. Ask them what they don't like to do when it comes to physical activity. Obviously, I do the typical assessment stuff. I look at their health history. I look at the overall aspects of what we can do to help them to move forward in that way. But I also take time to know them as a person to try to get that connection deeper and deeper so we can move together as a team. And again, I think that's so important. You need to let your clients know that you care for them and that you want to connect with them, and then you can take them as far as they've ever been in their entire life. I promise you that. Just work on it. And on my wall right here, caring, connecting, coaching. That's what we do. So again, this is my group. You'll see my Nano Generation there. Gabby, one of my coaches. And we just have fun, and we just want to be the best part of their day. I'm here for them 100%, you know, and I know that they come also because they have a good time with us, but I truly take that mindset to know that I'm going to be the best part of their day that day. And I put forth the effort. I'm always striving to try to help them to make that step in that 60-minute period, at least to boost those endorphins. You know, it's always kind of some dad jokes. I'll throw one out there, kind of funny for some fitness professionals now. So the other day I tripped over a Kleenex box, but it's really not that big of an issue, just slight tissue damage. And I know it's bad, but things like that, people remember, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to hear it again. What's the dad joke today, Matt or Jake or Gabby or Barbara? And we're just, you know, finding ways to connect with them, finding ways to help them to lighten the mood. And exercise is a part of it, but it's also a good time. It's time to spend time together and consistently see how we can build those relationships. You know, and by their name, you know, I like to tell stories, obviously, but another one is, so when I walked into CC's Pizza, I don't know if anybody's ever been in one, but like they just yell at you, right? It kind of took me off guard. They're like, hey, welcome to CC's. And kind of, I kind of took that, right? And when people walk into the gym, I'm like, hey, how's it going, Patty, today? Or, hey, how's it going, Bob? What can we do for you? You know, and as soon as that happens, they've kind of engaged with you. They know that you're paying attention to them. They know that you're there for them and you're prepared. You've been waiting for them. And I truly do that. I truly wait for my clients and I'm excited to see them. And I remember the things they tell me. And here's another little, I can't remember exactly what book it is, but I know a lot of you know Brene Brown. She's a professor and an author and UT, but putting those marbles in individuals' jars. How can you put marbles in somebody's jar? Remember their dog's name. Remember that they were going on a trip in 2 weeks. Remember that, you know, their son was coming to visit and cook dinner one night, and ask them about that, because that's going to build that relationship, and that's going to solidify that you care about them, right? And you're connecting with them. Like I said, guess what? Coaching's easy at that point. They're ready and they're open. They're waiting to see what they can do for you. They want to push themselves harder because they know that you're there for them. And again, just kind of taking that time to engage with them, ask them about their lives, their dislikes, their likes, and just be curious. You know, I think that's another thing that we don't do enough. I'm truly a curious person. My mom, who is recently passed, but her and my fiance are kind of a lot alike, Tanya, and they're always like, well, why do you think they're like that, Jake? Or why are they working over here? You know, why is that equipment sitting out there? And I'm kind of the same way with my clients, and I make fun of them because of it, but I'm like that with my clients. I'm like, so why do you wear those tennis shoes? Do you like them, or are they just kind of by the house? Or like, oh no, somebody gave them to me, or, you know, and then the next time they come in and I'm like, oh, so, you know, what did you cook tonight? Or what are you going to cook for, you know, dinner? Or, you know, did you go shopping last week and find something? And it really just helps me to grow that relationship. But honestly, I kind of do it naturally, but that's something I try to teach my coaches, because not everybody has that. Not everybody has that skill. So I think just being a little bit more curious about your clients and more curious about their day-to-day lives, not just their movement, will help to solidify that relationship and hopefully grow those profits again and bring them inside your facility every single day. We all know that's the hardest part, getting them through the door. Exercise is easy. Getting them through that door enough is not. All right. So again, how has this helped me? How has this helped Tri Fitness? How have we been able to use this? Like I said, I had $32,000 dedicated to this business before we even opened the doors. And that was a big, big thing for me to say, wow, people really believe in what we're doing. People really see that there can be an impact, and we've done this for them in their lives. And I have so many couples, so many family members, and that's another thing. When you know people trust you enough to bring their family to you, that's kind of a boost of confidence and excitement too. And so we've grown 877%, like I said, from about 7 to a little over 90 right now members in 2.5 years. Client life cycle for me as a trainer since I started working in this industry back in 2011, 2012 has been 8+ years. When I work with people, and it's not always consistent, they come back to me though. They'll come back to me consistently, and you know, they may wane, you know, back and forth, and we know this as fitness professionals. We have some people that come all the time, some people come and go. And I've had people, honestly, that have paid for gym memberships, and we're not cheap. Like we're not the $30. We're only small group personal training. So they'll stay, you know, a year and maybe not come back, and then all of a sudden they'll come all go a year later, but they've kept that membership the whole time. And again, that retention, 88%. That's great. That really is inspiring for us. It helps us to feel good about what we do. And it proves that what we're doing makes sense. It proves that what we're doing is helping people to feel more connected to our business and more connected to us as professionals. And then community, right? So I think when people say community or even values, right, it kind of gets thrown out there and we don't really understand what it is or how to define it. But this is one of the definitions that I like of community. By consistently sharing the values you hold, the goals you are setting, and the accomplishments that your community is achieving, you're going to build a stronger sense of identity and a common purpose within your community that brings everyone closer together over time. And I'll say it again. I'm going to get a little bit of water. Things that I think are important, I just like to repeat. By consistently sharing the values you hold, the goals that you are consistently setting, and the accomplishments that your community is achieving, you're going to build a strong sense of identity and a common purpose within your community that brings everyone closer together over time. Not just you, not just your partners, not just your teammates, not just your clients, the entire community. We have a store down, two stores down from us called On the Run. And you'll see behind me, I don't know if you can't really see behind me, but I hung up recently. We waited to do our ribbon cutting for the Chamber of Commerce until after. We didn't really kind of have enough people in 2019 as we were still growing. And then COVID hit, so we just kind of put it off. But I had all these businesses come in, and even though they had to go back down to their business, they came by and said, hey, we're so thankful that you're still here. We're proud of you, and we're glad that you've been able to push through and make this happen. And that just makes you feel good. That just makes you feel like, man, you're doing something for the community. You know, I'll walk by their store and I'll just open the door and I'll say, you know, you guys are doing great. Keep it up. Thanks for everything. And they're a shoe store. So it's like, you know, kind of and specifically a running shoe store. So we do have a relationship in that way. We kind of have some of those common practices. All right. I know I've said a lot going through that. I don't know if there's any questions or anything, and I can't really see the talk, but I'm going to go through our focus number 2. We're going to develop a game plan to become the go-to expert and gym in your community. And this right here is a presentation I did at the Chamber of Commerce. I've really gotten a lot out of the Chamber of Commerce, but it's kind of one of those things. If you don't put anything into the relationship's not going to give anything back to you. And so they did a business development seminar, and I went in and talked about how as entrepreneurs, as people who run their own businesses and people who are service-based businesses, you cannot separate yourself with work-life balance in a lot of ways. You have got to find a way to find synergy, and you've got to find a way to make sure that it works together. That's a different presentation, but they asked me to do it for them, and I really got probably, money-wise, I would say I probably got brought in about $10,000 just from that talk. And that was last year. So really enjoyed that. And that's just because I went to the meetings and I talked to people and I shared my story. Develop and grow your knowledge and your skills. So I kind of started off with a bunch of pictures of all the training that I'd gone to on this, and had all the professionals that I've worked with, Dr. Dan and Cody, and like I said, going to Training for Warriors, I have that certification, and then Mike Boyle's certified functional strength coach. Oops, my battery's running low. Hold on. Nope. Sorry about that, y'all. We'll keep going. Nope.
You got power?
Yeah, I still do.
You still with us, Jake? Okay. Hopefully Jake will, and he's gone. So I bet his laptop did die, even though we got it plugged in. All right, well, hopefully he will be able to get back in the Zoom room here quickly.
All right, let me make sure I can continue here. Hold up. All right. So first and foremost, without knowledge, without the ability to actually help anyone, why would you even worry about trying to be an expert in your field? And I think this is something that's hard to accept and hard to swallow. It takes time. I mean, I think that's the hardest thing when it comes to growing your knowledge and growing your experience. Like, you cannot control time. Like, you have to control your actions. You can fit more in your day. You can do more. You can plan more. You can put more on your schedule, but you can't speed up 10 years, right? Everybody's like, oh, time went by so fast, but the amount you do within that time is what matters most, right? We all get the same 24 hours. You know, the old Arnold saying is like, you just speed up the time, speed up the way you sleep. You got to do it, you know? And so like whenever I think about that in that speech, right? And so you've got to speed up your sleeping if you want to get strong, you know, and in the long run, you really have to focus in on tasking on things that are going to propel you forward, not just being scattered. What do you want to learn, right? In the beginning, I was just trying to learn as much as I can. How can I bring it all in? How can I become the best expert I possibly can? Go to every training and just absorb. And then it really kind of narrowed down about 8 years in whenever I found FAI and found what they do. And I was like, all of my clients are already over 50. I'm kind of an old soul. I really always have been. Why can't I bring this all together? Why can't I put all this in one package and consistently take it to that next level? And that's whenever I honed in on my actions, being focused on moving forward with that functional aging aspect of things. But you've got to study, you've got to learn, you've got to grow, you've got to go put out the work. I went to the Todd Durkin's 3.5-day mentorship out in San Diego whenever I was way out of my league. I just like 2.5 years in as a trainer, and I was in there, and these people were like, yeah, at my gym. And I was like, I got 4 certifications, like, you know, but it really just showed me that I was where I needed to be. And it showed me that that was my tribe, and these type of people are who I needed to be around. So get out of your comfort zone, get out of that place where you're just feeling like you should be sitting and like going through the routine. I can't get anything done yet because you haven't done anything to get to that next level. Doing the same things you've done over and over again, that's insanity. You've got to move to that next level. You've got to find that next level move, right? And that might be in your community. That might be going on to one of FAI's mentorships or whatever it is. You need to go out and find what that next thing is that's going to help you to consistently grow. Books. Like, I am a avid consumer of Audible. When I'm running, I'm listening to Audible. Last night, whenever I was running, I was actually listening to Dan's presentation. And that gave me the ability, while I ran not quite an hour, but the whole time I'm working out, I'm able to absorb information, right? And I like music, don't get me wrong, like anybody else, I love it. But I'm focused on trying to grow my knowledge base and my abilities as much as I possibly can right now. And again, honed in on the things that matter to me. Growing my business matters to me right now. Trying to give back to my community, especially when it comes to other fitness professionals, matters to me right now. I know that we're at a bad place as a society when it comes to our health. And that is where I'm trying to focus on helping people to see that. And then another thing that is really underrated is show up every day. Show up every single day and do what you said you're going to do. Just make sure that you don't take for granted that opportunity to breathe again, to live again, to walk again, to have that opportunity. And I know that, you know, like, oh, you know, that's just kind of motivational, whatever, but it truly is. When you think about these people who are struggling or don't have that opportunity to live their life again, or all the veterans who are committing suicide every single day because they can't get away from what they've seen and faced in their life, it really puts things in perspective. And it really drives me to try to not let their death go in vain, right? Not let those people who we've lost and all of those sacrifices they've made to keep us free and have these options and abilities to go in vain. So show up every day, keep applying your knowledge. That's the best way to learn and grow, 100%. I like books and I like learning, but if you don't apply it, you can't get that experience. And just being on the floor every single day and working with other humans and helping them to move better, that's the number one thing I think in the long run you can do to be able to show, hey, I can help you. When I walk up to somebody and I help them to engage their feet a little bit better, talking about Dr. Emily Spikel's program and how she helps you to use those feet a little bit more solidly, and then they go through a full squat and they don't hurt their knees because I'm helping them into a hip dominant squat, a light bulb goes off and they're like, there is a possibility. There is a chance for me to improve my movement. There is a chance for me to get better. Guess what I've done? I've become the expert to them in that moment. Those things matter. Teaching people how to engage their core and really understand how to make sure that you're in a good position to move really makes a big difference with balance. Again, you become that expert in the moment. So getting out into your community. I'm trying not to rush too much, but I want to make sure we hit everything. Community centers. I think especially in the fitness industry focused on 50 plus, most of your community centers, 90% based off the study I was reading, has a focus on our senior population, our 50 plus population. And one of the problems I think I see consistently too is their fitness program, though, is not robust enough, as we know as functional aging specialists, to truly get those benefits. So a lot of time it becomes more of a social event, which I'm not against either. Any movement is good movement. And I think, but in the long run, a book called No Sweat, just before I forget, that's a really good book. And it really teaches you about how to rephrase movement, rephrase exercise. So if you haven't read it, read that one. Again, I'm going to try to throw some books out there for you. But, and 9 out of 10 offer those fitness classes. So volunteer, give your time to go in there and become that expert to them. They're going to keep calling you back. You're going to get more exposure. You're going to be able to help more people. And over time, you speed up the process of becoming the expert because you're there more. They see you more. You're the functional aging specialist in their community. So don't get comfortable. Don't just go to your gym. Go out and find those people and those organizations in your community that you can help. And we say this all the time in marketing, right? But it really is true. A community that knows you, likes you, and trusts you will support and buy from you. So this right here, this picture in the background I did at a library, and these were the people that showed up. Right? And I could have been like, oh, only 5 people. I can't believe that it's all it is. And this was probably after a 12-hour day. And as I was still on active duty in the Coast Guard and training, you know, I was at about 83 hours a week before I left active duty. And I would go and just give them my energy and explain to them some of the things that I've learned through FAI and through my experiences and help them to move forward. And that was a big deal, and it helped them to see that there were possibilities, right? And so make sure you're getting out in your community. And this was at a local library. And the way that I actually got this one set up is I went to a health fair. They had, the library had a table, and I went to the librarian and said, hey, do you guys do community events or any type of educational things and that I might be able to help with? I'll show you another tool real quick. And I made this partially from help with some of the presentations that FAI does, but really just kind of, some of these pictures are going to look familiar, right? And I did reach out and ask if I could use some of the presentations from the actual Functional Aging Institute. And I made it my own, obviously, and branded it for Try Fitness, but it's a little, 10-page guide. I wrote an article and put it in there and got all of our information, but I'd be willing to send this to anybody. If you want it, email me. But again, it's just a way to get out into your community and share a little bit of that expertise to help that community understand where you're coming from and what is different about fitness for people over 50 and how it can be effective. Strategic partnerships. And for a long time, I was like, man, how do I do this or what's going on? And honestly, it just came down to, again, building relationships, getting into my community, working with those people who are doing the things that I think could help us and it could have a synergistic effect as time moves on, consistently going out, sharing my story. And again, it started with that vision earlier, though. I had a clear vision of where I wanted to go. We talked about on slide number 2, I think, or slide number 3, getting that vision pinpointed. So when I gave my elevator speech, we're basically a small group functional aging fitness facility that focuses on individuals 50 plus, teaching them how to move better, live better, and feel better every single day of their lives. That's it. You know, whenever you fine tune it and you're able to put it in that platform, people are like, wow, okay, sounds a little different. Maybe I don't necessarily, well, have you ever had a personal trainer? Yeah, it's like that in smaller groups, but we get to interact and we have fun. Oh, okay, maybe I'll try it out. But once you get that kind of down, you can say that over and over and over again, and people will be able to digest it and understand where you're coming from. So how do we do this? Where do we do it? Schools and labor organizations. So we're doing the capstone program for the University of Texas Medical Branch for their occupational therapy students. So 2 of their students per, it's not semester because it's like a 2-year program that they have to go through to develop this program. And we get that program afterwards, but it's their kind of project to be able to graduate as doctors of occupational therapy. And how did I do that? I had a client who was the dean of students who I met and asked her, hey, can you introduce me to this person? And she introduced me to the head of that occupational therapy program. Then I went and did a talk. After that talk, they said, hey, would you be willing to work with our students? So guess what that does? Now we're an authority in our community for this. But if I wouldn't have been proactive and asked those questions, it wouldn't have happened. Local networking. And Dr. Dan kind of hit some of these things whenever he was talking about his $10,000 in a month. But I think it still is important to keep hitting, right? So organizations like Chamber of Commerce, Business Networking International, churches, libraries, community centers, nonprofits, support groups. I do talks for they call themselves the Bosom Buddies. It's just a group of women who've recovered from breast cancer. And we have quite a few of them in here now training. And just talking and sharing the story and how fitness can help. And then the one that we all want, right? You know, the Mecca, doctors and wellness professionals. And, you know, I actually hit a jackpot recently and it was just a great guy. So I pulled out the old school yellow pages, pretty much online though, right? And started looking up all the local doctors. And I just started calling and say, hey, you know, I've got a community of members. And this is important too, how you start the conversation. I've got a community of members. We're about 75 plus right now and growing. And I'm trying to find some doctors who may be willing to be a resource for my clients so I can refer maybe some of my clients to them if they have issues or have some concerns. And I called about 10 different doctors and one, yeah, 100%, let's go. And so another thing we focus on is functional fitness here. We don't have any machines or anything like that. It's all functional movement, right? So I really have been studying functional aging and functional medicine for a long time. Dr. Mark Hyman, Cleveland Clinic, all that type of stuff, Institute of Functional Medicine. And this happened to be a functional medicine doctor. So it was like when we hit, it was like sparks flying, boom. And he was like, I like this and I like that. And all of a sudden we were connected and he's given me at least 3 or 4 different referrals now. He's my doctor now. And again, it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have just sucked it up and sat down and said, I'm calling all these doctors. And then PTs. So my clients, whenever they have an injury or something goes on, I ask them who their physical therapist is. I ask them to share our information with them, ask them to take it with them so they can get it out there and just share the materials. Make it easy for them to share your information, right? And so we had a physical therapist come in the other day and he was blown away. He was like, wow, a lot of this correlates. A lot of what you're doing is helping our clients in the same ways. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty great. And so now he's helped us as well. And he's excited about what we do. And that's what it is. It's just really putting in that work, showing up every day and being honest and clear about where you're taking them. I think if you don't have a clear vision of what you're doing, that doctor is going to be like, ah, she was kind of scattered or he was kind of scattered. And he didn't really know what he wanted. So I don't know how he can help my clients. But when you have that pathway lined out and you can show, here's how we do it. We do an 1.5-hour assessment. We use the senior fitness test battery or a mixture of FMS or whatever it is. And we walk our clients through the path of growth and show them how they can get better. Wow, that sounds great. I definitely will send my clients there. But getting clear about it, right? So leveraging your relationships to grow and maintain your business. So this right here was an article that was written from not Bay Area, San Francisco, but Clear Lake, Bay Area. And it was from the Community Impact newspaper. And how did I meet them? Chamber of Commerce again, sharing my story and what we do here at Tri Fitness. And they came in and did an article on us and it brought us in probably 4 or 5 members. And I think that's a big thing over time. Again, it's how you become that authority. And the more of this that you do, you'll be able to actually leverage some of those relationships to grow and maintain your business success. So some of the simple tips, I think, ask for support. Ask. If you believe that you've given a good service and then you've given your all to your clients, ask them for some help. Ask them to ask their friends to share what they do here at least, to share their benefits with others, right? So just ask them those things and then use their network. Maybe you have somebody who's the head of the local Lions Club or the local Veterans Administration organization. Ask them if you can come and show them what you do, show them what your actual focus is in your business. In the long run, that could turn into so many new opportunities. Again, kind of come back to what Dr. Dan talks about, building that list, getting their names down, make sure you bring something that's, here's a 3-month giveaway of workouts and have everybody sign up. So then you've got your list builder, right? And you consistently go from that. Celebrate and share in their wins. I think that's a big thing. You've got to celebrate your clients in the moment. Celebrate your clients in the moment and let them know that like, hey, this is a great thing you're doing right now. I know it was hard for you to walk through this door. I know exercise is not fun. I know it's a very challenging thing. 9% of our country used a gym membership in 2018. 9%. People aren't exercising, right? That's a huge market for us. And I'm not saying go after everybody, but when you are with somebody, be honest with them and be proud of them for taking those steps. Just because you like to work out doesn't mean they do, right? So celebrate and share their wins. Be excited for them. Right? And then host events and create offers. My co-owner, John, I mean, he's like the master at these little bitty pancakes. We make protein pancakes. It's funny. Great guy, you know, but he's really into getting these events going and getting everything going. And we do at least one thing a month. 2019, 2020, obviously, it was changed by COVID. But we did online events. We would do an afternoon happy hour, or we would do a group chat or whatever to keep that momentum going, right? To hopefully build, to give our people a little outlet and a way to see each other and connect with each other, because not all clients see each other on a consistent basis. And then your number one marketing tool is your current clients, or are your current clients, whichever you like. So more or less, we started a client advisory board. This is something I haven't really seen most people do, but so we bring in our members, and we haven't said it's only 10, it's whoever. And we ask them to help us share how we could get this into the community more. What could we do better in the gym? How could we improve processes? How could we improve the way we train? Would you like to see something new? But give your clients an opportunity to have a piece in your business. I did a talk for Bunker Labs. It was a kind of one of those incubators for trying to get your business out there and to share what you're doing and get some grant funding and things. And, you know, 3 people in this picture are just members who came to support us and drove an hour. And that's what I think it means to build that family. On the right-hand side, this is one of our fundraisers, and these people helped us to raise over, what is it, $5,200 or $5,700 for the Travis Manion Foundation this year. I can't remember the exact number, but I mean, those are the things that matter to us consistently. And then the final thing I'll say, y'all, is always give back to your community. And I mean, even you guys, to those other fitness professionals, we're not in competition. There is plenty of people out there. We need to come together. You know, and I like that the summit that they did earlier this year with all the fitness professionals and allied health professionals for FAI. Thank you again. And it really helped you to see that we really do and should be working together, and do need to and should be working together consistently. So again, I thank everybody for being a part of this. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. You know, I love what I do. I'm truly passionate about trying to help fitness professionals and grow what we're doing every single day. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Dr. Dan, Cody, and Celia. Here's my contact information. I do have a freebie if anybody wants one, a checklist that I've made based off of everything I've talked about today. You can go to www.trifitnessgym.com/FAI. And again, God bless you. Have a wonderful and amazing day, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good one.
Awesome, Jake. Thanks so much. Didn't even skip a beat with some tech difficulties. The 500 people watching on the recording have no idea that ever happened. So, so any questions? We've got a couple minutes before the summit officially wraps up. You've got Jake's contact info. You know, one of the cool things, Jake, that I always say about the summit is that the odds are there's someone in this room, or there's someone watching the recording, and there's someone 6 months from now that's going to see this session and they're like, oh my goodness, my mom lives in Jake's neighborhood, right? I mean, there are people looking for functional aging specialists in Houston, and we've got 2 functional aging specialists on 2 different sides of Houston in the room. So, so leverage that, right? I mean, we can connect with one another, and if you're always looking for a functional aging specialist, a trainer, you can usually find one. We have them in 49 out of 50 states now. I think Wyoming is the last holdout. So we got to get a certified trainer in Wyoming. Somebody might have to move there. So any questions for Jake? Any comments? Great job, Jake. Thank you, Jake. Michael's asking, what is the script that you use to ask to meet with doctors or physical therapists?
More or less, I think it's just to understand what your story is first. That really is important. I think because you need to be able to feel genuine and tell that story freely. So know what you're going to walk their clients through or their patients through whenever you speak to them. But first off, you want to say, I have a community of individuals that I'm working with as a fitness professional, and you know, we're focused on longevity and health, and we're trying to get our clients the best actual care that we can. Is there any way that we could have a moment to spend together? I think if you put it in that way where you're bringing those clients, potential clients, to them, they're going to be much more willing to say, oh, okay, this guy's got 70 people that, you know, maybe could be potential patients for us. And just being persistent too. Don't stop. Just make that round and call every single person. And honestly, you might one day talk to one secretary, and that secretary is not having a good day, and they're not going to get you through. But you call back on the next day and you say, oh, could I drop off some cards? And it's a different secretary, and you might get through. And honestly, doctors want to help their patients too. They're just burned out and overworked like a lot of us. So, I mean, it's just, you got to just be honest and know that they're genuine people too, and they're trying to give back. So just share what you're doing for their patients.
Yeah. I think sometimes we give doctors a bad rap, right? I mean, they're overscheduled. Sometimes they're overworked. They're rushing from patient to patient. And I think sometimes we make the mistake of being like, oh, they're not exercise advocates. We're like, actually, they probably are telling a lot of their patients to exercise. Their patients aren't hearing that part, right? Tish says, I've always wanted to do a client advisory and just haven't. You have motivated me to do it. Awesome.
Heck
Awesome,
yeah.
Tish. Yeah, that's awesome. Several people thanking you for your enthusiasm and energy. I appreciate you bringing that at the end of the day, especially after you've been serving all day as well. So Coast Guard duty all day long, and then wrapping up the summit at the end of the day. So, well, I want to honor everybody's time. I want to honor Jake's time. It is 5:30 Eastern. The summit is coming to a close. I can't believe it. We have wrapped up the 7th annual Functional Aging Summit. There were 32 live sessions, and I know there's no way any of you took in anywhere near all of those unless you can be in 4 places at once. So you got a lot of recorded sessions coming over the week. I encourage you to watch a couple next week. I just have to thank our amazing sponsors, Kaiser, Naboso, Age Performance, Exercise Etc., Urban Polling, Nomley, and Curves. We couldn't have put this sort of event on without them, and look forward to meeting you live in Denver. So we've got 2 Denver events coming up. Denver, September 17th and 18th. And then next year, the Functional Aging Summit will be in Denver, June 3rd and 4th, 2022. So Jake, thanks so much. Thanks everyone for being here. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.